Hello, hi, welcome for the session. Myself, Dr. P. Shivaranjani, Head Assistant Professor, Department of CT, and I'm handling web technology for third BSc CT student. So today we'll discuss about XML and XHTML. So before getting into XML, we should know the three important characteristics of XML. So that makes it very useful in variety of systems and solution. The first one is XML is an extensible. It means that it will help you to create your own self-descriptive tags or languages. So that is suitable for your application. And the XML also will carry the data and does not present it. It does not transfer, just display the information. It will carry the data, and based upon that particular data, it performs some kind of task or activity. So this XML allows you to store the data irrespective to how it will be presented. And another characteristic is XML is a public standard. So it was developed by an organization called World Wide Web Consortium. So that is W3C, and it has been available as an open standard. So that is about your XML characteristics. So these are the three important characteristics that has been pursued by XML. So we'll see what is meant by an XML refers to. XML stands for Extensible Markup Language. It is a text-based markup language derived from SGML. It means that Standard Generalized Markup Language. So here in XML tag, it identifies the data and used to store and organize your data rather than specifying how to display it like HTML tag, which are used to display the data. So XML is not going to replace HTML in near future, but it introduces a new possibility by adopting many successful features of HTML. So first we are going to describe about what is the usage of your XML. So XML can be work behind the scene to simplify the creation of your HTML documents for large website. XML can also be used to exchange the informations between the organizations and the system. XML can also be used for offloading and reloading of databases. XML can also be used to store and arrange the data, which can customize your data handling needs. And it can be easily merged with your style sheets to create almost any desired output. So virtually any type of data can be expressed as an XML document. So next we are going to discuss about your syntax or rules to write your XML document. The syntax of the XML document is that it should start with less than question mark, XML version equal to within double quotes 1.0, and we have to close the double quotes question mark, and the tag should be closed. So it means that the version of the particular HTML document. And it also contains the information. Now we are creating an XML document for contact information of a particular person called as Tanmay Patel. And he belongs to a company called as Tutorial Point, and we have given the contact number of the particular person. So this is the document which has been used to create an HTML document. So now we have created a contact information of a particular person called as Tanmay Patel. The contact information has been stored by the help of your XML document. So the XML is used in many aspects of your web development, and it is also often used to separate the data from the presentation. The next is about your XML separations, data from presentation. XML does not carry any information about how to be displayed. The same XML data can be used in many different presentation scenarios. Because of this, with XML, there is a full separations between data and presentation. So next we are describing about XML trees. So the XML documents from a tree form a tree structure that start at the root and branches to the leaf. So it will have the starting point as a root and followed by the leaves, and the leaves we called it as a child or children. We can also call the root as a parent, and the children's are is nothing but the leaves are called as a children's. So here in this particular diagram you can see that you have created an XML document for a book. So here we have a root element or a parent element called as a bookstore name, and that is considered as a parent of the particular HTML document. So here we have the child as elements, and element, it means that the book category of the books and the language of the book, and we have an attributes. We have an element as a book and attribute as a language and attribute as category. So in the attribute as language, we have to specify what title belongs to which author it is, the year, in which year the author has published the particular book, and what is the price of the particular book was given in the attribute tag. And here the title and the author are called as siblings. They belongs to a same cadre. And also there is an we are describe the element for the particular text that has been shown in the at the last, that is called as the child or the leaves. So here this is an example for the following diagram we have seen in the previous page. So this example will explain the XML format of your bookstore. So now you have created an XML document for a bookstore called for a category 1 called as a cooking, a booking category called as cooking. So it contains a language called as Everyday Italian, and the author called as Guidi Lutinis. So in the year he have published the book in 2005, and the price of the book is 30 rupees. So this is the content which has been stored in a catalog called as a category called as cooking category. And similarly, we have created two more category called as a children category and a web category. And in children category, we have named the title of the book as a title of the particular thing as in Harry Potter, then the author of the particular book and the year of the publication and the price of the particular book. And we also defined another a book category called as a web, and for that the name of the book, the title of the particular book is web page, or the particular book is Learning XML, and we have mentioned the author and the year and the price of the particular book. So these are the three different type of document we have described inside a bookstore XML document. So we can see elaborately what is meant by the difference between your elements and the attributes. So here the XML element is everything from including element starting tag to include the elements ending tag. So it should start with the starting tag and should end with the ending tag. So the ending tag should have that is a slash forward slash and followed by the price. So the elements can also contain some of the attributes or some of the things like text, attributes, other elements, or mix of the above elements. So you can have either text or attributes. Okay. So now next is naming rule of your XML. So the XML document or XML element must be named based upon certain criteria or certain rules and regulations. The first one is the element names or case sensitivity. The element name must start with letter or undercase. The element name cannot start with letter XML or capital XML or small XML or the combination of capital letter and small letter because it is a reserved keyword. The element name can contain letter, digits, hyphens, underscores, and periods. The element name cannot contain space. Any name can be used. No words are reserved, except you can use all the words except XML keyword because XML is a keyword. So the next one is your naming style. There are no naming style defined for XML element, but there are some commonly used. So here in the table column, you can able to see three different columns. One is style and the corresponding example and its corresponding description. So for the style lowercase, it will be described with the lowercase letter. That is, first name has been represented in lowercase, and for the style uppercase, in the example it has been described by capital letter. And if it has been used, if you are using a style underscore, so now I have used for first underscore name. So okay, so the first and name has been separated by a word. Okay, so that is called as an underscore. So similarly, in the case of your Pascal case, so here you can make use of the combination of your the sentence case, right? The first letter can be a capital letter. So here it is a combination of upper letter as well as the smaller letter. And there is a case called as a camel case. So the camel case is nothing but the uppercase first letter in each word except the first. Okay, so except first, all the case will be your first except your first, all the letters starting at first letter will be a capital letter. So this is called as a camel case. So these are some of the naming styles. So next we are going to discuss about your XML elements or extensible. So the XML elements can be extended to carry more informations. So look at the particular example. You can see that you have created an XML document for a note. So here now you're going to send a message to a particular person called as Tope, and this message is from Jenny. Okay, so here the body of the particular message is, don't forget me this weekend. So this is the message you're going to giving out. So this will be described by the help of your XML tag. So the output for the particular tag has been shown over here. So the message is that you're giving a message to a person called a Tope from Jenny. Okay, so now the message is don't forget me this weekend. So this is the sample output of the particular code. So the next one is your XML attributes. So the XML elements can have attributes just like HTML. Attributes are designed to contain data related to a specific elements. XML attribute must be quoted. Attribute value must always be quoted. Either a single quotes or double quotes can be used. For example, so you can see the next is about the example of your XML attributes. So for a person gender, the person gender element can be written like this. So here you have given the first example that less than person, gender equal to within a double quotes. So it can also be written in as gender person equal to within a single quotes. You can give it as female. So if the attribute value itself contain a double quotes, you can use single quotes like this, right? So you can have either a single quotes or double quotes as such. So here now you have defined XML attributes as gangster name equal to Dr. SNS Rajalakshmi College. So now I have described them in a single quotes as well as in a double quotes. So, or you can also use like this statement that has been given in next at the end. So the gangster name equal to within a double quotes gr.sns ampersand quote semicolon Rajalakshmi ampersand quote semicolon college. So this is also acceptable in XML attributes. So now we are going to see the difference between your XML elements and XML attributes. So this in the example, the first example will describe you the example for attributes, and the second example will describe the example for your element. Right. So now the gender here for the person gender equal to female has been given as within double quotes. So this is an example for an attribute. Whereas in the example 2, now I'm giving a person and I'm giving the gender as female. Right. So this is an element for the particular XML tag. Okay. So here the first name equal to Anna and the last name is Smith in the first example. And similarly in the second example, the first name is Anna and the second last name is your Smith. So the both example provides the same information. So there is no rules about when to use attributes or when to use your element in your XML. So you can use anytime, anything at any time, wherever you need it. So there is no specific rules for describing your XML elements or attributes. So something you have to avoid in your XML attributes, that is listed out here. So the first one is the attribute cannot contain a multiple values. So the attribute should not contain multiple values, whereas the element can contain multiple values. So similarly, the attributes cannot contain tree structures, whereas the elements can contain tree structures. And elements are not easily expandables, whereas the attributes are not easily expandable, whereas your elements can be easily expanded. So these are some of your XML attributes that should be restricted, that are being restricted. So the next one we are going to see is XHTML. So it refers to extensible hypertext markup language. So this is the next step to the evolution of the internet. So XHTML 1.0 is the first document type in the XHTML family. XHTML was developed by World Wide Web Consortium, that is W3C, to help the web developer to make the transition from HTML to XML. So by migrating to XML, XHTML today, the web developers can either enter XML world with all of its benefits while still remaining confident in backward and future compatibility of their content. So why you are going to use XHTML? So developers who migrate their content to XHTML 1.0 get the following benefits. So these are some of the benefits of using your XHTML document. That is the reason why you are migrating from HTML to your XHTML. The first one is XHTML documents are XML conforming, as they are readily viewed, edited and validated with the standard XML tools. And the second thing is XML documents can be written to operate better than they did before existing browser as well as in the new browsers. So XHTML documents can utilize applications such as scripts and applets, so that rely upon either HTML document object models or XML document object models. XHTML gives you more consistent, well-structured formats so that your web page can be easily parsed and processed by the present and the future web browsers. So, and the very important thing is, the next thing is W3 certified those pages with the qualified stamp. So it has been recognized by, so your web page will be recognized in all over the world. So some basic understanding of your some concept before getting into a XHTML. The first thing is SGML. So this is the standard generalized markup language, we shortly called as SGML. Application conforming to the international standard, that is ISO 8879. So HTML is widely regarded as the standard publishing language of World Wide Web. This is the language for describing your markup language, particularly for those who used in electronic document exchange, document management, and document publishing. HTML is an example for the language defined in SGML. So the next one is about your what is XML. So we have learned already, XML is nothing but an extensible markup language. So XML is a markup language much like HTML, and it was designed to describe data. So XML tags are not predefined. So you must define your own tag according to your needs. So according to the need of the user, the XML document will allow the person to create your own document as per the need. So that's what we have seen earlier. So the important points to be remembered while writing your new XHTML document or converting your existing HTML document into your HTML document. The first one is you should write down a document type declaration at the start of your XHTML document. So the next one is you have to write all the XHTML tags and attributes only in lowercase because it is a case sensitivity language. Close all the XHTML tags properly. So then nested all the tags properly. Quote all the attribute values. Forbid attributes maximizations. Replace the name attributes with the ID attributes. Depreciate the language attributes of scripting languages. So these are some of the important points to be remembered when you're creating new HTML document or you're converting your existing HTML document into an XML document. So the next one is about list of maximized attributes in your HTML and the way you need to write them in your XML documents. So these are some of the HTML style and some of the and its corresponding XML style has been described. If you want to describe the style called as compact, then you have to describe in XML style as compact is equal to double quotes compact. And if you want to describe by the help of checking, you have to describe it by using checked is equal to checked. And if you want to you make use of declare equal to within double quotes declared. And if you want to make use of read alone, then you have to use read alone equal to within double quotes read alone. And if you are using a disabled equal to within double quotes disable. Select, then select equal to within double quotes select. And if it has been defer, you have to use defer equal to within double quotes defer. IS map equal to within double quotes ISMap. So everything you have been defined within double quotes. Okay. So the next one is some of the elements prohibition. The following elements are not allowed to have any other elements inside them. This prohibition applies to the depth of the nesting, means that it includes all the deciding elements. So the elements are A. So A must contain other A elements. So next one is your pre. So must not contain image, object, big, small, subscript, superscript element should not be used in your pre. And also in button, must not contain input, selection, text area, label, button, forms, field set, iframes or IS index elements should not be included. So these are all prohibited. For labels, must not contain other label elements. For form, must not contain other form elements. So these are some of the elements prohibited for your XHTMLs. So next one is your minimal XHTMLs. So the following example shows how to write your minimal content of your XHTML 1.0 document. So here the first one is your version of your XML document, that is 1.0, and you're using encoding UTF-8, and the document type is your HTML public W3 DT XML 1.0 transition EN. And the website is www.w3.org and the corresponding trans site. So here in the XML document, you have given the website called as www.w3.org and the language as English. And the header of the particular title is every document must have a title. So that this is the heading you have given. And the title is given as every document should have a title. And the body is that your content goes here, right? So this is the minimal XHTML documents. So the next one is your XHTML document types. So here the XHTML document types define three document type definition. So most commonly used, and it is the easy one in your XHTML document transition documents. So that is strict, transitional, and frame set. So there are few XHTML elements and attributes which are available in one document type definitions, but not available in another document type definitions. And therefore, while writing your XHTML document, you must select your XHTML document elements or element attributes very carefully. So however, this XML validator will help you to verify the valid and invalid elements and the attributes. So now we are going to discuss about your XHTML 1.0 strict. So if you plan to use your cascading style sheet, that is your CSS, strict and avoid to write most XHTML attributes, then it is recommended to use your DT, that is your document type definition. And document conforming to this DTT is one of the best quality. If you want to use XHTML 1.0 strict DTD, then you can need to include the following line at the top of your XHTML document that is given over here. So now it has been restricted to use only this particular document can be used. That is restricted. So the next one is your transitional. So if you're planning to use many HTML attributes as well, few cascading style sheet property, then you should adopt this DT and you should write your XML document accordingly. If you want to use your XHTML document 1.0 transitional DT, then you need to include the following line at the top of your HTML document. That is your document type HTML public. That is your W3 schools. So version and your transitional and your languages. So the next one is your 1.0 frame set. So you can use this when you want to use your HTML frames to partitioning your browser into 2 or more frames. If you want to use your XHTML 1.0 frame set, then you need to include the following line at the top of your XHTML documents. So the next one we are going to see is XHTML validation. So every XHTML document is validated against a document type definition. So before validating an XML file properly, correct your document type definition must be added as the first or the second line of your file. Once you are ready to validate your XHTML document, you can use W3 validator to validate your documents, and you can also use some other tools to perform your form, that is your XHTML validations. That is you can use the other validators such as RSS or Atom Feed validator, CSS stale sheet validator, find broken link validator. So these are some of the free validator which has been available to validate your XML document, XML, HTML documents. So that's it. If you have any doubts, you can ask questions in the regular classes. Thank you. Thank you for all.